After 3 full days in Bari, Polignano, Monopoli, Matera, Altamura, we thought we understood this region. We thought we had a feel for it. The limestone towns, the cobblestone streets, the rhythm of Italian life slowing to something almost human. And then Lecce happened. Lecce sits at the very bottom of the heel of Italy's boot. Further south than most people think to go. The kind of place that doesn't appear on the quick itinerary. And for that reason alone, it rewards the people who make the effort. We gave it 4 days, and 4 days turned out to be just barely enough. Getting to Lecce was simple enough. A train from Bari, comfortable, easy, the countryside rolling past the window, dry stone walls, olive trees, the flat, open plain of Salento, stretching out in every direction. But arriving in Lecce, that's where the story gets honest. We were following Google Maps on foot, pulling our luggage, heading toward the historic center. And I'll be straight with you. The first few minutes were not exactly what we expected. The road into town was rough, partially broken asphalt, a little graffiti on the walls, not many shops, not much charm. And I remember thinking, did we make a mistake? And gradually, almost without a clear moment of transition, things started to shift. The asphalt gave way to cobblestone. A few boutiques appeared. Then the streets narrowed into something beautifully old. And then the view opened, just like that, wide open. A piazza, a monument, and right there in the middle of the historic center, a Roman amphitheater, not a replica, not a reconstruction, the actual stone seating of a Roman amphitheater, 2,000 years old, sitting in the center of a living Italian city like it belongs there. And our apartment was right there, facing the amphitheater. Some locations you just cannot plan. You just get lucky. Good afternoon, we just arrived in Lecce, and you're not gonna believe this beautiful Airbnb we got. Let me show you around. One thing we like about Airbnbs or even Booking.com and getting apartments is you have a lot of room to roam around. We're here for 4 nights, so we're gonna be very comfortable here. It's all renovated. It's incredible. He used marble and onyx all over the place. Check out this view. Right here, right in front of the amphitheater. And the center, they're excavating
archaeological.
They're excavating an archaeological site. So we're directly in the center of the town of Lecce. I think we have the best location you could find. Big, huge living room. I don't see a TV, but a nice area to relax. Look at the bedroom. He's got onyx as the back headboard. Talk about comfortable, though. We can look right out at the amphitheater. The apartment itself is something, very modern, in the best possible way. No physical keys. You enter with a code. The shutters open and close with a switch. Even the bathroom had a touch panel for the water. And yes, the toilet too. This is our home base for the south of Puglia. Lecce carries a nickname that took us a while to fully understand. They call it the Florence of the South. It doesn't look like Florence. It doesn't really. What happened here architecturally between 1630 and the end of the 1700s, so unusually that historians ran out of comparisons and reached for the greatest city they knew, Florence. After the Battle of Lepanto in 1571, when the Christian navies defeated the Ottoman fleet, the people of Salento finally, for the first time in generations, felt safe from invasion. The Turkish raids that had terrorized this coastline for decades suddenly stopped. And when people finally feel safe, they build. New religious orders arrived in Lecce, the Jesuits, the Theatines, and they began competing with each other through architecture. Who could build the more impressive church? Who could commission the more elaborate facade? What made Lecce's version of architecture completely unique was one thing, the stone. Pietra leccese, Lecce stone, a local limestone so soft that a sculptor could carve it almost like wood. It hardens over time when exposed to air, but it could be worked with extraordinary precision. The Roman amphitheater in the center of town was discovered by accident in 1901, while workers were digging the foundation for a new building. Underneath the piazza is an amphitheater with seating for 20,000 people. What we see today is only a small portion. The rest is still buried beneath the square, the shops of the city. An entire Roman city still lies, largely undisturbed, just beneath our feet. Piazza Sant'Oronzo is where the amphitheater sits, and the column of Saint Oronzo rises. Cafes line the edges of the square. Lecce is a living city with 2,000 years of history. The mosaic emblem of Lecce right in the center of the piazza. The city's symbol depicts Lecce's coat of arms, a wolf beneath an oak tree. Of all the churches in Lecce's historic center, the one that surprised us most quietly is the Church of Santa Chiara. From the outside, elaborate. From the inside, equally elaborate. But what everything was actually made of, papier-mâché. Every carved detail, every gilded frame, every surface that looked like wood or carved stone, all of it, papier-mâché. Made by craftsmen who had neither the money for marble nor the stone for carving, and so they invented their own tradition. Layer by layer, paint over paint, detail over detail, until what they created was indistinguishable from the real thing, except that it was lighter, more intricate, more inventive in some ways than what the expensive materials would have allowed. Lecce's papier-mâché tradition is centuries old and still alive. On the streets of the historic center, we find workshops where artisans still practice the same techniques, making figures and decorations in the same tradition. It is a craft born from poverty that became an art form. We have been to a lot of churches. We have seen a lot of facades. By this point in our travels, we have developed something close to church fatigue, that point where one elaborate entrance begins to blur into the next. Santa Croce does not allow for that. It demands your attention whether you give it willingly or not. The facade is overwhelming. A rose window so intricately carved, it seems physically impossible to have been made by hand. Around it, a dense, exuberant world of carved figures, saints, animals, mythological creatures, angels, decorative vegetables, triumphal imagery celebrating the Christian victory at Lepanto. It goes on and on. Every time you think you've taken it all in, you notice something new. It took over 100 years to build, 100 years of stonemasons adding details to details, passing the work from generation to generation. A short walk from the amphitheater, through the narrow main walking street, is the Piazza del Duomo, surrounded on all sides by Baroque buildings. The cathedral on one side, the bishop's palace on another, the seminary with its magnificent loggia on the third. The space feels almost theatrical, as if it was designed not just as a place to put a church, but as a place to make an impression. The bell tower is the tallest in all of Salento. It stands 70 meters tall. And as of 2022, there is an elevator. We are glad not to have to climb the stairs. From the top, you see the full geometry of the old city laid out below you. The tight medieval street plan, the Baroque churches, and then beyond the old walls, the modern city of Lecce spreading out in every direction. It is a good place to take a breath and understand where we are. Inside the museum next door stopped us in a way we hadn't expected. The statue that caught our eye immediately, a woman holding a severed head, composed, even serene, the kind of image that takes a moment to fully register. This is Judith from the Old Testament, the Jewish widow who beheaded a Syrian general with his own sword. Standing next to her, in the same room, was a painting of a woman holding a chisel above a man's head, while another figure raised a hammer to strike it. That was a harder image to shake. Medieval art did not look away from suffering the way modern sensibility prefers to. Outside the historic center Porta Napoli, the great triumphal arch that was built in 1548 to honor the visit of Charles V. It is the grandest of the old city gates. Near the Porta Napoli stands the Obelisk of Lecce, a tall square column topped with a globe and a cross, built in the early 1800s as part of a deliberate effort to modernize and beautify the street leading into town. It has no ancient history. It's relatively young by Lecce standards. Outside the historic center, Lecce is simply a functioning Italian city. Supermarkets, traffic, pharmacies, the kind of ordinary daily life that can feel like a relief after so many hours of looking at extraordinary things. We use Lecce as our base for the surrounding region, the same way we'd used Bari before it. And the first day trip took us to a town that almost nobody outside of Italy has heard of, Galatina. Quiet, small, not many tourists. We like those places. The less touristy experience, the more we like it. We feel we are actually somewhere. What brought us to Galatina was the Basilica of Santa Caterina, and from the outside, we would not have predicted what was waiting for us inside. Every centimeter of the interior is covered in frescoes. Your eyes don't know where to go. Walls, ceiling, vaults, columns, everything painted, top to bottom, in scenes from the Bible, the life of St. Catherine, the book of Revelation, the story of creation. It is like someone took the entire illustrated Bible and put it inside a single room, all painted in the 15th century. And then we stopped at one fresco in particular, a scene showing a woman's breast being cut. Graphic, arresting, impossible to simply walk past. This is St. Agatha of Sicily, one of the early Christian martyrs, who was tortured in exactly this way for refusing to renounce her faith. In the center of town, we stopped for the Lecce coffee, poured over ice with a splash of almond milk syrup, a drink so particular to this corner of Italy. We're trying the local coffee here and the local pastry. And this is a cold coffee, but it has almond milk. It's kind of sweet, but almost tastes like an almond liqueur, actually, not like almond milk. The pastries here are from this region, and one is cherry and the other one is cream.
Take a bite.
So let's see the cherry one. Oh, look at that. It has like a lemon filling, like a pudding. Let's see how it tastes. Yes, it's good. Very light. Next, we're going to the Adriatic, to the historic town of Otranto. Otranto captured our hearts. It sits on the Adriatic, the easternmost town in Italy, the point of land that faces Albania across the water. And from the moment we walked into the old town, through the walls, down toward the water, we started thinking about coming back for a longer stay. The town has a Greek quality to it. The white walls, the narrow streets, the sea visible from everywhere. That feeling makes sense when you know the history. This was Byzantine territory for centuries. The layers of occupation are literally still here, in the stones. But the most striking thing in Otranto, the thing that stays with you long after you leave, is the cathedral. Inside, the floor is covered by one of the most extraordinary medieval mosaics in Europe. It stretches the entire length of the floor, an enormous illustrated story, combining the Old Testament, the life of Christ, King Arthur, Alexander the Great, mythological animals, the signs of the zodiac, and scenes of daily medieval life. The frescoes that were painted here were destroyed when the Ottomans came. They used the cathedral as a mosque. That invasion happened in 1480. 150 ships carrying 18,000 soldiers landed on this coast. The city resisted for 2 weeks. When the walls finally fell, the women and children were enslaved or killed. The men who survived, 813 of them, were taken to a hill outside the city and given a choice: convert to Islam or die. Those 813 men, their bones are in the cathedral. In the Chapel of the Martyrs, in 7 large glass cases display the skulls and bones. They are arranged carefully, deliberately, facing outward. Down to the waterfront. It is windy, but the light on the water is beautiful. We can imagine this place in summer, full, alive, perhaps too full. From Otranto, we drove south along the dramatic coastline. Sharp limestone cliffs dropping straight into the Adriatic. And every few kilometers along the cliff edge, a tower. These watchtowers, dozens of them, still partially standing, built between the 15th and 17th centuries, were the early warning system of this coast. Each tower positioned so it was visible from the next one along the shore, creating a chain of signals. We passed through Castro, a small dramatic town perched directly above the sea, and drove all the way to Santa Maria di Leuca, the very tip of the heel, the southernmost point of Puglia, the place where the Adriatic and the Ionian Sea meet. Making our way back toward Lecce along the Ionian coast, we stopped in Gallipoli, a medieval fishing town built almost entirely on an island, connected to the mainland by a single bridge. We walked the full loop of the old town walls, looking out over the Ionian Sea, then down the main street lined with shops and restaurants, still quiet in April compared to what it becomes in July. Fishing boats in the harbor, the smell of the sea in the wind. Puglia, it is not a flashy region. It doesn't have Rome's command or Tuscany's fame. It doesn't try to overwhelm you. What it does instead is accumulate. A bakery that has been making bread in the same oven for 900 years. An amphitheater buried under a city center. Puglia rewards the decision to stay a little longer than you planned, to take the train to the small town nobody mentioned. If you enjoyed what we shared, the like button and the subscribe button help this channel reach more people who travel the way we do. Leave a comment. Tell us where you've been in Puglia or where you're thinking of going. We would genuinely love to hear from you. Next, we're going to China. 3 weeks exploring the country, working as a panda caretakers, and much, much more. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video.